I'm going to take you all back to 1930s America, where a man called Leadbelly practically invented the blues. He was a field worker. He was a slave. And when he got home, instead of getting angry, he'd sing. He'd sing about hardship. He'd sing about poverty, and he'd sing about real life things. Now you take someone like Leadbelly, and you compare him to someone like Lady Gaga. I might offend someone here, but on one hand, we have raw emotional talent, and on the other, heavily auto-tuned, highly pretentious rubbish. Thank you, just my opinion. Now, probably the most famous of all blues musicians was a man called Muddy Waters. He was not only an influential post-war artist, but also an educator. Through his music, he taught people of the rights and wrongs of life, of the dangers, of the depressions of his time. What educators do we have to look up to in modern music? 50 Cent and his homies telling us how to gun down an enemy? Or perhaps how to take drugs whilst having a lap dance from a semi-naked woman? The blues was also a form of communication, a way for black people to share the mutual pain of slavery. I find this strange that in the modern world, with all the technology, with all the media, that we find it hard to openly communicate our true feelings. Now, I know some of you are probably sitting here thinking, well, this all may be well, but how do I relate to it? Well, a man called Howling Wolf once said, when you ain't got no money, you got the blues. When you can't afford to pay your house rent and you can't afford food, you got the blues. I wonder how many of you now think, I can relate to that. I wonder how many of you have ever wanted that new pair of trainers or that new hat, but you couldn't afford it. I also wonder how many of you could have been helped, not by being angry or by getting frustrated, but by listening to the blues. Because that's a great thing. It's not just an art form, it's a therapist. It knows what you're thinking and it knows what you're feeling and it will help you out. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I urge you today, let's bring back blues music. And with it, let's bring back history. Let's bring back education, and most of all, let's bring back feelings.